You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From Phoenix Raceway out in the deserts of Arizona, it's of course Wednesday night, and you know what it is, folks. It's the Outlaw Sim Series Truck Series right here on Sim Racing Media. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here, with you every step of the way. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and making us a part of your evening. And of course, we want to encourage all of you to comment and follow us on YouTube.com. Already gritting up for race number one. Ben Morrow's going to sit atop the pile. Let's see who can win this duel in the desert. We're going to be with you from the green flag to the checkered flag and everything in between right here on Sim Racing Media. And Alan, here we go as Ben Morrow hops into the race truck now in the Mountain Dew number 57. Of course, folks, we know that we're setting the inside and outside lines for our feature tonight. And we've got a real barn burner on its way as we take a peek at our race info here. 83 degrees here in the afternoon sun, and of course 90 degrees, that asphalt temperature. Not a bad temp for a racetrack, especially here. But I think what we're going to see, Alan, is some really slick tires during these heat races.
Yeah, definitely. Not a lot of time in these heat races, so you got to be on the move. And, this is going to set the lineup. Whoever wins this heat will have that coveted pole spot. So, if you finish second, you're going to start third. Finishing third will start your fifth, and so on and so forth. So, unlike like last week, here we are going to run these heat races one more time as these guys are going to get set and ready to go. We got a long way to go. We're going to have a lot of fun here at Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, and these heat races a little bit longer than usual. Of course, 6 laps here around this 1.5 miles in the desert. And, one of the things that that I think is interesting here, and we're going to be using the open dog leg. And actually, it's not 1.5 miles, it's all but 1 mile even. Now, we're going to see a lot of drivers taking that open dog leg. You can see that here in the lower portion of the track map. Right about where that start-finish line is, drivers are able to actually cut the track. And now, with the suspension on these race trucks, it's not the independent suspension of the Cup Series cars. This is one straight hard axle. So you've got a really interesting transition between the racing surface and the apron that a lot of these guys are going to be on.
Definitely, as these guys, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to almost look like a land rush if you were to, start from a stop, really.
Ben Morrow going to sit on the top of the pile for heat number 1. He'll be joined on the front row by Ben Park. Josh Fox and Matthew Byers in row number 2 with Kyle Lingerfelt and Joshua McClune. In row 3, Jeremiah Stutzman, Matthew Setzer, and Joshua Ballier. They'll be holding things down. Jonathan Byer and Merlin Duran going to be down in the pits. So I believe we're going to see those guys not start at all. And with 6 to go, why would you? Of course, this is a very long racetrack without the pace car. The pace car has to enter pit road on the exit of turn 2, and it is just a long backstretch. And here into turn number 3, Ben Morrow with control of the field. We can hear those V8s getting ready to roar to life for the first time tonight. Green flag in the air, and off we go at Phoenix Raceway in heat number 1.
So far, Ben Morrow with that. There they go, making that dog leg shorter, taking the shortest line, or taking the shortest way, and that's a straight line. Ben Morrow going to take the early lead coming out in turn number 2.
The 7 and the 88 either dropping intentionally back to the rear here. Jonathan Byer comes out, but the 7 of Joshua Ballier and the 88 of Jeremiah Stutzman opting to not just take the dog leg, but deciding to get all the way to the back of the field. Ben Morrow now exchanging first position with Ben Park. It's the Ben and Ben show. There haven't been this many Bens in the desert since Moses took the Hebrews across. Five laps to go, and the Ben and Ben show take us up here through the quad oval. Now we see them. There it is, cutting that dog leg. 27.19 seconds for Ben Morrow. 27.21 for Joshua Ballier. So he just went from I'm going to drop all the way to the back to let's see if I can drive this thing forward. So obviously he's just testing out the handling of this fixed setup. We're going to go on board now with Kyle Lingerfelt here in the 65 out of Horseheads. And let's see if he's going to be one of these cut the dog leg fellas. And not everybody does that, Alan.
I know. I tried it and I can't manage to do it. But, as we watch these guys do it, they got a pretty good handle on it.
Alan, I love you, but it doesn't surprise me that you couldn't handle it. I mean, I've seen you make boneheaded moves. And by the way, folks, we're looking for tonight's winner of the Bergen Bonehead Award as we go under caution.
That's a rarity for a heat race.
Unless they're deciding that maybe they did something wrong in the heat layout, in the heat format. Nope. Joshua McClune is registering as having had an incident. Let's take a look. We're going to watch the 6 machine. Oh, that's a problem. Can't do that.
Synchronized spinning.
Oh, what in the world happened to the deuce?
Maybe he wanted to go dirt racing. I don't know.
The deuce of Josh Fox broke loose also. He only had 2 laps in. Yeah, it. You couldn't do that again if you tried to have both of them do this at the same time. Let's see if we can look out the rear of Josh Fox's race truck. We might see that. Yeah, that's almost synchronized swimming.
If only it had stuck the landing.
Well, he stuck the landing right into the safer barrier on the outside wall. Going to be 3 laps to go. We're going to go green, white, checkered here. Really, that was impressive. I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen. Same time, 2 different race trucks, and nobody touched either one of them. To cause it, that is. Ben Morrow and Ben Park going to bring us back to the start-finish line. They come into the Geico restart zone. Morrow drops the hammer, and off we go. Green, white, checker. The popsicle sticks are in the air.
You think that Ben told him that, Harry, I'm dropping the hammer, and Harry said, no, you're not. Meanwhile, we got 3 wide action going on here. That 94 truck, Joshua Ballier and Matthew Setzer.
Morrow
on the action.
Oy, Park sliding back. Now, Park's going to stay a little bit higher. That enables him to draw just a little bit more speed. Park looking now to the inside of Joshua Ballier. And the checkered flag flies as they come across the line. There it is. Whoa! A little loose there for the 7. As the 18 got underneath, it's going to be Morrow, Ballier, Park, Byers, Lingerfelt, McClune, Setzer, and Beyer. Fox, Stutzman, and Duran going to finish things up there.
We're going to get our second group of 10 cars lined up on the pole for this one's going to be Joshua Reese. To the outside, it's going to be Dan Park. Anthony Hamilton will make up the inside of row number 3. On the outside, he'll be flanked by Brandon Combs. Forrest Run, Hamilton Jr. will be starting on the inside. Will be starting 5th. Starting 6th will be Devin Smith. Aiden Giordano will be starting 7th. 8th will go to Adam Gardner. Ben Henry will start 9th, and Doug Solms will start 10th.
And there they are here, taking a look at Joshua Reese in the number 1 Chevrolet Silverado on the front row out of Mount Juliet. Dan Park joining him up there out of Jamestown, Indiana. You think they called Jamestown Jimmy Village? Anything fun there? Can't imagine any.
I think
Well, we just saw a heart trickle through the live chat. Don't know who that was from. Let us know what you're pulling for, what you're watching tonight here on the YouTube.com live chat.
I mean, they do have a Santa Claus, Indiana.
They do.
They do.
The only thing I think of when I think about Indiana is Frank Burns. Major Frank Burns. Just remember, Frank Burns eats worms.
I mean, Hot Lips Hooligan died.
Houlihan. She just passed away tragically at the end. They were surprised that she died of natural causes. Are you kidding me? She was 85. She was at the front of the line. It's going to be a 6-lap heat race when we get back to... I'm not wrong. 6 laps when we get back to the line. Joshua Reese with control. The field fires off, and here we go. Through the dogleg again. Everybody kind of coming back together. They've got to blend together really well here, because if you come up through there just a little bit too quick, bad things are going to happen for you and all of your friends around you.
Well, Dan Parks, got that second position pretty secured right now. He's going on the offensive there against Joshua Reese. Thinking about making a move. Needs to make a move. And doesn't make the move.
Side by side go the 4 and the 28. Now the 28 here on the high side, that's Brandon Combs. And just below in the Columbia machine, what is on the front of the 4? I'm afraid to even look. I didn't check paint schemes to make sure everything was. Oh, Funyuns. No, that's fair. That's fun for you and Yuns.
You know, like we always say, that there's one way to get on the air. You know, make a unique paint scheme.
I did it for an entire season with Tuesday Night NASCAR.
Oh, the Spirit Airlines.
The Spirit Airlines, Howdy Dave Regal.
I think that was your favorite.
Of course it was. Then I got him to switch it to Howdy Honey Buns. It was fabulous. 3 laps to go now for Joshua Reese as he and Dan Park are going to lead this thing. Now the 3 here of Dan Park kind of in a little Kurt Busch era Sharpie sponsorship here on the hood. We're going to ride along with Park here as we get ready for 2 laps to go. Everybody getting those popsicle sticks up and in the air. Park's going to have to find a way to get around Reese. He's really got to stay in the throttle long, but same deal.
Again, same lap.
This time, it's going to be someone in or around Adam Gardner. Literally the exact same time. Nisi Gang says, let's go, YC. Well, that's not helpful, is it?
Oh, they get the motor swapped for the A-main.
See if we can get a better shot of that. There we go. Watching the 56 here. Same thing. Much worse for the end there, but literally the same thing. With 3 laps left, going to 2 laps, just having the rear end step out on you. Now, fortunately, that time it was only 1, but that F-150 is going to be one hurt puppy.
Then that's 050.
I mean, it was an F-050 when it came off the floor. Everybody should get a little bit of class, and we should be inviting the Dodge Ram back to NASCAR.
Ooh, did you hear the rumor?
You bet I did. There is a space in NASCAR for Dodge. I don't know where they're going to find it. I don't know who's going to go there.
So the earlier rumor
is who?
Cletus McFarland.
I'm not mad at it.
You know, he's a talented driver. He's a better driver than me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a very good driver for being an amateur, essentially.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at that. But I would love to see the Ram make its appearance here in the Craftsman Truck Series. And you know what? I was glad to see I was glad to see last season for Craftsman to come back to the Truck Series. Camping World, no.
Not so much.
Craftsman, that's what I think of when I think trucks. And off we go with 2 to go. Joshua Reese with control of the field. I'd say it's 4 wide, but it's more like 8 wide.
8 wide. These guys using every inch of this racetrack. As Brandon Combs looking to the inside of Joshua Reese to make that move. Gonna back off, but here comes.
Oh, there he goes around the 28, trying to hold it, dirt tracking his way. Oh my God! I don't know if I recorded it. I hope I hit that fast enough.
You did. It looks like you did.
The white flag is in the air. Joshua Reese here in heat number 2 leads the field down into turn 3. They roll through the restart zone one final time, and at the Cactus, It's Joshua Reese, Dan Park, Anthony Hamilton, Aiden Giordano, Forrest Hamilton, Devin Smith, Ben Henry, and Doug Salmus. Brandon Combs and Adam Gardner round out the field. Let's see what happened here with Brandon Combs, because I am highly impressed. Watch the 28. Dirt tracking. Everybody gets away. He keeps it underneath him. Manages to finish with all 4 tires on the asphalt instead of up his nose.
I was impressed. I mean, he just stayed in it, turned the wheel to the right, and away he went.
I'm in. Let's take a look at our feature starting grid for the evening. Sitting on the pole position, going to be Ben Morrow, and joining him on the outside is Joshua Reese. Joshua Ballier and Dan Park in row number 2, while row 3 features Ben Park and Anthony Hamilton. Matthew Byers and Aiden Giordano in the 21. He's going to be on the outside of row number 4. Kyle Lingerfeld and Forrest Hamilton Jr. in row number 5. Neither driver in their trucks yet for row 5 is Joshua McClune and Devin Smith going to be in row number 6, while row 7 features Ben Henry and Jonathan Byer. Doug Salmus and Josh Fox will sit in, Jonathan Byer and Doug Salmus in row number 8 with Josh Fox and Brandon Combs in row 9. Jeremiah Stutzman, Adam Gardner, and Merlin Duran, the Wizard. Get it? See what I did there? The Wizard of the Outlaw Sim Series. It's going to start shotgun on the field tonight. 21 drivers scheduled to take the green flag tonight. As we get ready to see these drivers roll off of pit road, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of their evening. 150 laps the scheduled distance tonight. As we get ready to let her rip, iRacing.com pace car controls is coming through 1 and 2. And, again, Alan, this is a long way to go with no pace car.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are itching to get after it. Ben Morrow, Joshua Reese on the front row. And they got to hold that pace speed all the way down the back straightaway. And it's so agonizing.
That has got to be absolutely frustrating for the race leader, whether it's a pole sitter or not. But Ben Morrow comes into the O'Reilly zone, the Geico restart zone, and the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, and off we go for a duel in the desert.
Morrow, Ballier, and Reese got a 3-chuck breakaway just ever so slightly. And here comes Ben Park. It's a Park showdown.
The Parks are trying to park themselves up in the front row. We've already had a shuffling of our leaders as Dan Park here in the 3 machine now goes to the high side of Joshua Reese. Reese going to have to figure out a way to keep him back there. It might not be that easy, because when you can get the 3 and the 18 next to one another, bad things are going to happen for those around you. We take a look here at Aiden Giordano in the 21 machine. He works to the high side of Kyle Lingerfeld in the 65. A Toyota and a Chevrolet dueling it out. As we take a look here at Matthew Byers in that Lowe's Home Improvement Centers number 94 Chevrolet Silverado. I see he's still using the Gander Outdoors banner across the windshield.
Is it wrong that I don't like going to Lowe's anyways? Because it usually means I got to buy something, build something, or put something together.
No, and I'll tell you why it is. Lowe's is for the weekend warrior. Lowe's is for the guy who's, I don't know, trying to put a new sink faucet in, but he's never done this before, but he watched an episode of This Old House, and, they make it look pretty good. Meanwhile, Home Depot is for the tradesmen, the people that are trying to go to work every day. Like Lowe's at 7:30 in the morning is an absolute madhouse. 7:30 in the morning on a Thursday. And Friday morning, it's even worse because guys are trying to get out of town. They don't want to have to work the weekend. They want to get as everything that they have to.
Exactly.
Joshua Ballier jumping up 2 positions. Almost had a food delivery from Lansdale, Pennsylvania.
Well, as you watch these trucks go across this dog leg here, this is gonna be a really good shot if we can hang with the shot just for a minute. You can see these trucks just absolutely get air as they come off the racing surface, not at that apron. And ooh, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, lucky number 7 stays lucky here. He's now gapping Ben Morrow by 0.8 of a second, nearly a full second. He's flirting at 0.9. Ben Park in the 18 Toyota Tundra rolls out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. He's about 0.4 away. Closest battle on the racetrack now, Brandon Combs. As we're going to widen things out to the blimp view, watch the 28. That's the green and black truck on the left side of your screen working just underneath Joshua McClune. As I was just getting ready to mention, usually, at least in the real world, when I'm calling, high school football, things like that, they usually bring food to the booth for us. And I got a near miss from Jeff up in Lansdale, PA. He's got now. I want you to hear this. I want you to feel it out, and I want you to understand that this is the finest of cooking. 3 layers of beef noodle ricotta and mozzarella with fresh garlic and basil.
Ooh.
And can you believe he said, "I'll see you in 10"? He's absolutely full of crap. The door's open, though. Most people usually bring the broadcasters some type of yummy. It's fine, though. I'll starve to death. Forrest Hamilton Jr. here running in 11th position in the 99. The 65 of Kyle Lingerfeld kind of getting out of his way, slides up high, and the 99 now looking to try to make up ground and now closing in on the 95 of Devin Smith. Now, this is something that we're going to see time and time again. Drivers, as long as they have that grip there on their truck, they can easily make that transition between the racing surface and the apron down there. So you can make up a couple of positions. But the drivers who are staying on the racing surface, they're going to extend the life of those tires. They're going to...
Right.
So you might gain 3, 4, 5 spots by taking that dog leg, but now you've beaten the rubber off, and you shouldn't beat the rubber off. You should always put the rubber on. But anyway, you've now beaten the rubber off. You've given up your grip, and now that driver who's been saving his tires running on the racing surface, he's going to be able to, close that gap once again on you.
Right, looking at that 95 car, I tell you what, Forrest Hamilton Jr., he's got 99 problems and the lead ain't one.
No, that's fairly accurate. Joshua Ballier here in the 7. He leads us 12 laps in of 150. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Nisi Gang says we're making them hungry. More than welcome to head on over to Pennsylvania. We've got a fine selection of cheese steaks. Of course, I wouldn't know. I had a salad for lunch. Got a fine selection of steak sandwich shops here. In fact, I highly encourage everybody to go to Alex's Steaks and Wings here in East Norriton, Pennsylvania. There's another shameless plug. By the way, it's right next to the beer store and the liquor store. You can get your steak sandwich, wings, beer, and vodka all within walking distance. You don't even have to shut your car off. You should, though, because it's suburban Philadelphia. It could get stolen.
Today is National Cheese Day.
Today's National Cheese Day. Then it sounds like I should pay the cheese tax. You got to look up if you're a dog lover or dog owner, you have to go check out paying the cheese tax on your social medias. Check it out over there on the TikTok.
While we're watching Brandon Combs. While we're watching Brandon Combs here and that number 28 truck, he's battling Forrest Hamilton Jr. Forrest has got to run Forrest run because Brandon's coming up on him out of 2, and it's going to be a short time before he makes that pass.
Here's a fun observation. Just scanning the old socials and saw somebody from my old church celebrating the 23rd and 21st birthday of his daughters. When I was 21, the last person I wanted to go hang out with was Dad. No thanks. Now I drink with him, but not on my 21st birthday. The 94 of Matthew Byers closing in now on Anthony Hamilton. He's been slowly but surely trying to get that gap narrowed down. And Aiden Giordano doing the same thing here in the 21. Now, the question becomes who catches it first, and it looks like it's probably going to be Byers. He's right on the tailgate of Anthony Hamilton. We're going to go right here looking out the rear. Look at that, 7-Up. For all you folks that were born before 1990, 7-Up used to be a quality beverage. Now it's really only good as a mixer.
Oh, Seagram 7 and 7.
I've got some Seagram 7, and I think I do. I'll have to check. I don't have any 7-Up, though. But I have finally discovered Cheerwine here up in the Northeast. It exists. I've only ever had it below the Mason-Dixon line. 20 laps in the books, taking a look at Forrest Hamilton Jr. here in the 99. He's now closing in on the 28 of Brandon Combs. And Hamilton, as we look out the nose of the 99, that Busch Light apple out of Breckenridge, Texas. You know what? He should be ashamed to live in Texas and drink Busch. Anyway, we need to find out if Forrest Hamilton is a Cowboys fan or a Texans fan.
I mean, he drinks Busch. He might be.
He's probably
Cowboys,
a
yeah.
No. Miller Lite is the official beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Anybody who hates themselves on a weekly basis from August through December should know that. Oh, that's right. Folks, I almost forgot. Not only is it the Busch Light Apple truck, but it's also the OnlyFans truck. So I'm sure you can go check out Forrest Hamilton on OnlyFans. Here he sells great pictures of his feet.
I ain't selling none of
Joshua
my dog
Ballier has now opened up a 2.5-second lead. He's racing his own race, and he's minding his own business.
He gone.
He gone.
He gone. He said adios.
Huck Harrelson. Ben Morrow running in P2 has a $1.75 between himself and Ben Park. You don't start to even see everybody else's bumper until you get back to Ben Park and Josh Reese. This Monster Energy paint scheme kind of has a little bit of a Beetlejuice flavor to it.
I never did make it to the theater to see the Beetlejuice.
No, I
Yeah.
waited until it came out on
Streaming.
waited until it, on streaming. I
Peacock.
wasn't allowed. I wasn't able to go to see it in the theater. Couldn't go. Nope.
Oh, that was about as close as you get to wrecking
All right,
a
that's
21
just-
car.
That was as close as whoa. The 4 and the 94 almost decided they wanted to. Oh, ye. And now Giordano's going to get in here. Kind of a quiet race so far. We don't want to jinx that as Ben Park now goes side by side with that Uno truck. You know, you would think if it wasn't a failing business that Uno Pizzeria would sponsor a racing vehicle with the number 1 on it. There is exactly one. There is uno left in Montgomery County here in Pennsylvania. A little strange. I was at one, and 2 weeks later they closed it. Joshua Ballier in the 7 machine has led most of this race. In fact, I believe all of it after he took over the lead from Ben Morrow early on. And it has been nice and easy. In fact, Joshua Ballier, if I could be so bold, this was the last time somebody else, we're going to go to the replay here, this was the last time anybody else led this race. See how everybody's nice and double file? This was the move to take the lead. Ballier gets right underneath the 57. And here we go. This was lap 1. Ballier's going to get right underneath Morrow. And that was the last time anybody that wasn't Joshua Ballier led. And here he is all by his lonesome, a fifth of the way through the race. Matthew Byers in the 94 sniffing right behind Aiden Giordano. I didn't realize Chevrolet needed to label their parts so obviously. The tailgate here on the 21 says Outback. I feel like, yeah, that's where the tailgate generally belongs.
Well, I will say this. If you want Uno Pizza, they got one in Bensalem, PA, Chester, PA, Newtown Square,
nope,
PA.
Nope.
And
I know where the one in Newtown Square is. I used to work on the property that it sits on. I'm good.
Okay.
But the only one here in Montgomery County closed. Well, there's only one left in Montgomery County. Also, folks, according to the local news, make sure to use up your Rite Aid rewards before Friday, because that will be it.
Oh, they're closing down?
Yeah, what do you live under a rock?
I mean, we don't have very many Rite Aids out here in St.
Hundreds
Louis.
of people, hundreds and maybe even thousands of people are about to lose your jobs, and you didn't even know. There's a three-fingered, half-blind guy that works at the Rite Aid up the street from my house, and I don't know what he's going to do for work. Taking a look here at Joshua McClune as Nissy Gang trying to cheer Josh on, saying, "Stay focused. Commonwealth Fire Protection. You have my attention." And I'm going to assume that that's the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, considering that's a Nittany Lion there. Well, now we're going to look it up.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, here we got Joshua McClune at
from
number 6
Leola.
car.
Well, obviously, Joshua McClune is representing the 717. So he's either in Leola or York. Oh, you know what? It's York. We had that discussion the other week.
York, Pennsylvania.
Yep, representing York. Home of Harley Davidson.
Nice.
Also a brief Revolutionary War capital of the United States. They had some problems in Philadelphia. Had to get out of town for a little while.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were they
yeah.
born in West Philadelphia, born and raised?
No, they
They
were
spent
born
most of their
mostly.
playground on... Okay.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Just because you're that guy, when you eventually come to Philadelphia, and I will take you to West Philadelphia so you can see where Will Smith was, and I quote, "born and raised." And and I will stay on the L and speed away, and I'll be back to get you if you're still there. I mean, when they really talk about when they talk about Will Smith being born in West Philly and growing up here, now they just named a street for him Nobody's going to go see it, that's for sure. But in West Philadelphia last night, there was an accidental shooting. Guy was shot in his bed in the back. His neighbor upstairs was cleaning a gun. It went off and shot through the floor and hit the guy right in the back. Didn't kill him. But at the other end of that elevated rail line, there was a double shooting. So, you know.
It sounds worse than the St. Louis Welcoming Committee.
That's fine. It's fine. Just don't get off. The 1 of Joshua Reese starting to close in now on the 3 of Dan Park. He's really closed that gap now to just less than 0.2 of a second. Matthew Byers here in the 14 starting to look, in the 94 looking underneath the 21. This is a battle for position. Aiden Giordano, fighting it out with the 94. They're side by side trying to get through this piece. The 94 underneath, that's Matthew Byers trying to lift Giordano out of the way. All but door handle to door handle if they had them. And Giordano trying to scurry away as they come into turn 3, but now Byers is going to reload and try to battle it out again as they come through the quad oval. Giordano's going to take the dog leg. Byers stays high. Now he's going to try the crossover move. Doesn't have the momentum, but he thinks he can get a run underneath him. Can't do it coming out of 2 and getting ready to go back down the backstretch.
I kind of miss the backstretch to the front stretch. I think, and a lot of these drivers do also, but that bump coming off of that corner, you're hitting that dog leg. These guys have got it all night here. There they go again. It'll almost upset that truck, and that just so violent. I mean, some of these guys run that force feedback really high, and they can feel it in their arms, and these guys have got to be wore out after hitting that thing 150 times.
Taking a look here, Joshua Ballier still leading now, has extended his lead out to 6 seconds. And folks, you can see some of these gaps here. It's getting egregious. And pit stops aren't too far away. I think they can probably make it to about lap 60 before they're absolutely dry. And of course, we want to take a look here at the 9 machine, King Ben Henry. Also, everybody's still in the lead lap. So as fast as – what in the world is that? I see another Keystone. Where did all of these Pennsylvanians come from? The CPP. I don't have to PP. Central PA something poor? Just another Padley's Auto Masters. And tires. 10-4.
Don't forget the and tires.
And tires. The Pennsylvania Posse. Look at that. I like that. Do you see that right there under the A post? My man.
The PA Posse. You know that the sprint car gang, the Pennsylvania Posse.
Well, you got to be careful. You got to be careful the way you say that second word. That's all. Unless you're a scaredy cat, in which way then it suddenly applies. What?
What, with the sprint cars, the PA Posse?
Yeah, you have to be careful with that word. One slip of the tongue, and it's a – see what I did there? One slip of the tongue.
Hey.
One slip of the tongue, and posse has a whole new definition. Aiden Giordano now trying to get around the 4. He was just trying to hold the 94 off. The 94 of Matthew Byers is down pit road. He's going to get service. 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast. Ben Henry does the same thing. They're going to be the first 2 to blink, as Byers hasn't been in. In fact, nobody else. So now they go down laps. Now Merlin Duran falls a lap shy. So we do officially have one truck that's down a lap. But Joshua Ballier just kind of hanging out, doing what he's got to do. Ben Henry coming off of pit road after his 4-tire stop. And it's just such a long pit road. I mean, this costs you so much time when you have to stop under green. But, I mean, Alan, we've gone through 48 laps, nearly a third of this race as we approach 50, and these guys haven't slowed down. There's been no mistakes. I mean, this is perfect driving.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what this league is known for. As these guys are, like you said, almost ran 50 laps, not a caution, knock on wood. And I mean, we've only been racing for 22 minutes.
Nisi Gang says, yes, zoom in on the designs of the 9 and the 6, restaurants and beer logo in the York County area. Feel free to come visit. You know what? You tell me where to be, and I'll make a special sim racing media appearance. We can turn this into a whole thing. Let's check out the 6 paint scheme since we've got time. This is Joshua McLean. We talked about him earlier. That's the, there it is, Commonwealth Fire Protection. I am more than happy to go on over to York County. Is there free beer? I'm always about that. I like a good free beer. That's my favorite. It's my favorite kind.
Mine's an open one.
Well, I mean, I'd drink Budweiser if it was free. No, I wouldn't. I respect myself too much. We've already done that. That promotion.
We've done that bit.
That, folks, listen, if you want some kind of entertainment, more than welcome to go back to Sunday Night NASCAR's Coke 0400 last year, as Alan and I were each just paying each other, basically we were paying bets off for one another. I was racing, he was drinking actual beer. Then later on in the season, I had to drink what equates to urine with bubbles in it. They call it Budweiser. I call it not. I can't say it on the air. The FCC will not like me. The FCC won't let me be. They won't let me be me. Ballier, Morrow, Reese, Park, Hamilton, Giordano, Hamilton, Lingerfelt, and Combs. That's your top 10 here from Phoenix Raceway. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let us know what you're watching, who you're pulling for. Want to thank everybody for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we are watching live the Outlaw Sim Series trucks in the desert. Got that nice Craftsman logo back here on your screens.
We got to think of a new bet.
Yeah, something that doesn't abuse my liver. I can do that on my own. By the way, you got to check out the Smirnoff premixed screwdriver in the big can.
Ooh, that sounds good. We hit 10,000 subs on Sim Racing Media. We're gonna have to make a trip to each other's cities, and we're gonna have to have some fun.
Yeah, I can't think of another reason to go to St. Louis. That's for sure. You're the only. You're the only. I mean, you and the guy who plays the organ for the St. Louis Blues. I follow him on the Tickety Talk. He also plays for the Cardinals. Lost a lot of weight too. Proud of him. 56 laps in the books here out of 150. Now 57.
What about Charles Glenn, who sings the national anthems for Blues?
I'm not upset about it. I miss Kate Smith here in Philadelphia. She died before I was born. That's why I missed her. Adam Gardner here in the 56. Oh, nearly makes contact with the 13. They were really close. Fender to fender coming through turn 4 as they get themselves righted, and now coming down the front stretch, the 56 of Adam Gardner starts to scurry away out of Methuen. Alan, why don't you look that up and tell me where Methuen is?
On it.
And a nice mix of manufacturers tonight, too. I mean, through your top 10, all three are represented. Take a look here on the side of our timing and scoring. Is now Joshua Ballier going to come down pit road. Joshua Reese cycles into the lead. Ballier has decided that's it. Now, I thought they could get to 60. They made it to 58. Finally, I look like I know what I'm talking about. As
You ready?
we take a peek. Yep, go ahead.
Mustang is in Massachusetts.
Don't hurt yourself, kid. I know, folks, we weren't sure if he was going to get through Massachusetts, but he did. That's my guy. It's my boy.
It is
God,
up the I-93, right there on the New Hampshire-Massachusetts state line.
Huh. As long as I'm not near Vermont. Vermont doesn't seem like a fun place. They got, maple syrup, and that's about it. Stowe, you can go skiing there in the winter when it's cold. No wonder Bernie Sanders is such a miserable old man. It's cold where he lives. Devin Smith stays out as Joshua Reese, Aiden Giordano, Forrest Hamilton, Brandon Combs, and Kyle Lingerfeld all come down pit road. Adam Gardner, same way. Devin Smith maybe trying to stay out for the lead the race bonus point as Josh Fox is going to cycle up there. They're going to be the only two drivers that haven't come down pit road yet, and now they're really stretching thin.
Oh, goodness gracious. Joshua, or Devin Smith, up 11 spots, making this, finally leading this race, cycling through pit stops. But Dave, I'm watching the Dream 100 from the Eldora Speedway, and
Why?
they have done the choose cone in dirt late model racing.
Yeah, just in case dirt late model racing couldn't be any more confusing, let's go ahead and add a choose cone to it. These people are barely smart enough to figure out what asphalt is or spell it. They can spell dirt, D-I-R-T, and it's phonetic. Asphalt, all of a sudden you got that PH in there, and it becomes a whole thing. Josh Fox and Josh Ballier lead the way, and we're waiting for Fox to come down. He's got about a 2.8-second lead, but Ballier has suddenly turned into Pac-Man and is gobbling up the distance between himself and Fox. Matthew Byers running in third, Ben Morrow in fourth, Dan Park, Joshua Reese, Joshua McClune, Aiden Giordano, and Forrest Hamilton Jr. That's your top 10. I don't know if Josh Fox is hoping to see somebody get bit by the cold tire bug or what he's doing out here. But even as we look at our current conditions on the virtual racetrack, temperature is only cooled down on the asphalt to 86 degrees. See, they don't have to worry about track temperature on dirt, I guess, do they?
Yeah, actually they do.
Yeah,
so
I guess you don't want to have it start steaming like fresh mulch.
Well, so here's the thing. As cars run on dirt, it dries the track out. So, you got the sun. We don't worry about track temperature so much, but we do worry about sun, cooler temperatures, hotter temperatures. So, if it's really hot, the track will dry out. So, imagine the dirt as a big sponge.
I'd rather not imagine dirt at all. I don't like dirt. I mean, I don't like dirt as a rule. I mean, the racing, fine, they can do what they want there. But Joshua Ballier has taken back over the race lead. Go ahead, buddy. Go for a run. He's already got a 1.3 lead over Josh Fox. It's getting deeper and deeper. Matthew Byers running in third, 10 seconds and then some behind Ballier. Ballier just getting ready to gap everybody like the teeth of the old pine saw lady from TV. Little battle back here between Joshua Reese and Ben Park. Maybe they're going to do something. Maybe they won't. Things have really calmed down here. I mean, 67 laps. We've gone through a green flag run. That means that, even at 67 laps now, they've got to make 2 more stops to get to the end. No. Yep. Yeah, we're not at halfway yet. They're going to have to make 2 more. Nobody had that. I didn't have this on my bingo card. Usually Phoenix gets a little dicey here, but a half hour in, we're at 68 laps. I'm impressed. Once again, the Outlaw Sim Series has really put on a great show tonight here as we look at the bang deuce of Josh Fox. He's going to be passed by everybody and their cousin. He's going to cycle all the way to the bottom of the leaderboard as Kyle Lingerfeld going to make his way past Fox on pit road. Now Joshua Ballier Closer and closer here. He's going to lap Josh Fox. So Josh Fox, staying out for the long run, thought that he had an advantage and instead shot himself directly in the foot.
That's got to hurt. The next truck in danger going to lap down is that 95 truck of Devin Smith. Anthony Hamilton has got to get going too. He's going to also be in danger going to lap down.
Hey, by the way, fun fact, in case you weren't aware, Captain Grumpy himself, I almost said Barry Sanders, Bernie Sanders, he is definitely not Barry Sanders. By the way, is Barry Sanders Jewish? If Bernie Sanders is Jewish, they could be cousins. They look a little bit alike, I think. But anyway, Bernie Sanders is going to be on Ari Melber's show tonight on PMSNBC. I'll watch it. Listen, I'm telling you right now, folks, I will plug this for fellow Pennsylvanian Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper wrote a brand new book, came out 2 weeks ago, called Original Sin, and it is just fabulous. Now, for you folks that only watch Fox News like my dad, and I know he's not listening, but for you folks that only watch Fox News, Jake Tapper is a guy who works for Deep CNN, and usually a very good reporter. He hosts The Lead with Jake Tapper. Not that I'm shamelessly plugging his show or anything for a sponsorship, but I got to tell you, Tapper's book is just incredible.
You know, Fox News is fair and balanced.
They haven't been fair and balanced since 2005.
Just saying.
That's the minute that they let Alan Combs go. Nobody remembers that Sean Hannity used to have a partner to keep it fair and balanced. And Greta Van Susteren still talks out the side of her mouth over on like Newsmax or one of the other
News
BS
Nation,
shows.
maybe?
No, News Nation is Chris Cuomo. He's fabulous. Check out his podcast too.
Dave,
I'm a short breath away from voting really far left for no reason at all.
Are you a Bert Kreischer fan?
NASA.
You got to check out Bert Kreischer. He is hilarious.
I like Bert Pulitzer. Makes a hell of a blazer.
Fair.
It's available at your local Boscovs if you live in Pennsylvania like the rest of the Pennsylvania posse. Ben Park here in the 18, following Aiden Giordano just behind. Forrest Hamilton Jr. in third. We're going to step aside and pay some bills here as we've now reached the halfway point. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with us here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, and he's Alan Bergen, and you're watching the truck race in the Outlaw Sim Series.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving Going back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back. We're going to take one more second here and step aside as race audio still has not come back and Alan has still not come back, which is fine. Nobody really misses Alan anyway. That's better. Now everybody can finally hear. Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway. Dave Regal with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, alongside my brother from another mother, the redheaded stepchild, Mr. Alan Bergen, as we're on lap number 85 of 150 right here in the desert. 85 clean laps. We just had a pit cycle go through about 25 laps ago. They should be able to make it to about lap 120 if they really stretch things out. As Jay Adams saying, boo the 7. Is that like being boo earns? For those of the Simpsons stock? I thought they were saying boo earns. But Joshua Ballier has had control of this race from the very beginning. The only time that he wasn't leading was at the drop of the green flag and during green flag pit stops. Other than that, he has just been lights out all night.
Especially with a 13-second lead over Ben Morrow. I mean, talk about total domination on this racetrack here.
Wasn't that what they titled your honeymoon? Total domination?
They did.
I'm sure your wife is very proud. Everybody raise your hand if you were surprised that that my esteemed partner had a honeymoon.
Not surprised.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Uh-oh. Watch the 6. All of a sudden, the 6 is going to battle it out with Anthony Hamilton. We've suddenly got a three-way battle for 10th position. The 95 of Devin Smith now looking as we go on board just at the left rear quarter panel of the Funyuns 4. Ay. They're 3 wide in 1 and 2, and those tires are just getting to the sweet spot. Watch them go. All of a sudden, Joshua McClune with the edge. He's going to come across the nose of the 4. They're going to touch. He dirt tracks his way through. He saves it. Holy sweet Jesus.
That truck was going around.
Now
and
the
he
wild
saved
thing,
it.
the wild thing is that all of that's going on, and they're fighting it out as Joshua Ballier is ready to put Hamilton down a lap as he looks to the inside now of Anthony Hamilton, and in just about a lap and a half, not even, we're going to see just 10 cars on the lead lap.
Goodness gracious. Devin Smith is the next car in line to go a lap down to Joshua Ballier. Now Ballier is just on, that truck is just on rails right now. Is, well, make that the number 9 truck, Ben Henry just right in front of Ballier to go down another lap. Here comes Ballier, and there is the 9 truck of Ben Henry. Car number 4. Not quite there yet, but he's getting closer. Ben Henry going to get out of the way. We're working lap number 93 of 150 scheduled here.
Hey, he doesn't have to give that up. I don't see a problem with it.
Well, here's the thing. Ballier is 14 and a half seconds ahead of Ben Morrow. And Devin has to run because right now Devin is trying to get away like he owes Ballier lunch money.
Well, he very well may as we look from high above in the blimp cam. I mean, Ballier was for a long time all by his lonesome, but now he's in the lap traffic. This could really, and here's the thing. Do you push your luck in lap traffic? You certainly don't. Imagine how great the racing would be weekly without Ballier. No, that's not the way that this works. That's not the way that this works. That means that everybody else has to step their game up. And you know what? I used to say that about, what was the guy in Western States that won everything? You know who I mean. I almost said Brantley Gilbert. Bentley
Glazer.
Bentley Glazer. Okay, Bentley Gilbert, whatever. Bentley Glazer over in the Western States Racing League, when I first started in this business, a number of years ago now, I mean, he won everything. And, I mean, the young man was just incredible. And, of course, we also had my good friend, Ben Park's going to come down pit road. A really good friend of mine, a young man, Joseph Lester, from down there in, just south of the Mason-Dixon line again. Another great racer that won just about anything that he registered for. He was picking up a W or at the very least, second position. You find these people here on the service that are just plain old good. You can't keep them away. You certainly don't want to say you're not welcome here. What you want to do as a racer is up your game. Figure out how you can beat them.
Another driver comes to mind, Matty Long, who we watched literally 30 minutes before S&N goes live. Buys the track, runs maybe a qualifying lap on there, puts it on the pole and wins the dang thing.
Oh, yeah, that was Chicago Street Course, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, of all the places to be really good, it was a street course. Now it looks like drivers are going to cut this a little bit. See, I don't know if I like that call. A few of these drivers are going to come in what is theoretically early. But, I mean, many of them are down a lap anyway, if not more. In fact, there's only 14 drivers down one lap, and the rest are all down 2 and then some.
Boy. I thought about this, Dave. We need to get everyone at Sim Racing Media to chip in. We'll get a 50-50 ticket from Tony Stewart's Eldora Speedway. You play online.
Okay, that's fine. I'm in. I think Sim Racing Media should be selling 50-50s every week. 50% for the winner, 50% for some kind of a good cause. That'd be fun. There can't possibly be a small games of chance license violation somewhere in there for the tax purposes.
51 laps to go here. from, well, now 50 laps to go, and the racing is just about to get ramped up here. As, Joshua Ballier is still trying to put Devin Smith a lap down. And just as we said, he's got Forrest Hamilton, just a few cars ahead of these guys. Run Forrest Run. McClune on pit road. Lingerfeld coming off the pit road. Ben Morrow still 15.5 seconds back. Or 15 seconds even. And Joshua Ballier finally he puts the 2 truck down another lap of Josh Fox. Ever so slightly catching that number 95 truck of Devin Smith. And he's getting ready to make the move.
And we're less than 50 to go now, 48, 47 at the line. As it's going to be Ballier, Morrow, Reese, Park, Giordano, Hamilton, and Smith. Ay.
So the thing here about Ballier is he's going to spend way more time trying to go around Devin Smith than he cares to.
Well, there's going to be a lot of work to be done there, especially for Ballier trying to get around some of these guys that, at this point, maybe siding with Jay Adams a little bit. They've got to be frustrated down there. They can't stop him. It's beyond freight train status.
Maybe they put a bounty on Ballier and make him start from the back.
I mean, I used to say that about Joseph Lester all the time back in the day. Make him start from the back. Be a good racer. And you know what? We did it one time and it worked. He still won. It was like a 30-car field. He drove through everybody. That was in the Xfinity series on MNN before IRN even existed. IRN was the grandfather to what we experience here. It's defunct and in a drawer.
Defunct and in a drawer.
The Independence Racing Network.
Oh, okay. You know what? I've seen those TikToks.
That was pretty cool, huh? On the
Those
roller coaster?
TikToks.
Oh,
yes.
Or of the Independence Racing Network days.
The Independence Racing Network.
Oh, yeah.
days.
Yeah, you got to go check out the roller coaster one from last week. That was cool. I encourage everybody to get their Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Again, another shameless plug.
I tell you what, though, we hit 10,000 subscribers. You come to St. Louis, we're going to do some very St. Louis things.
Like meth?
No, not meth.
I don't know what else you do in St. Louis besides smoke meth.
Like, you gotta click it before you smoke it. No. Look, I promise to keep you away from AB. Even if you do want to tour.
I want to go there. I will go for the tour of Anheuser-Busch, and I'll let them know that I don't like them. I don't like, you know what? And I don't like Pabst Blue Ribbon either. And that's a good beer, okay? I don't mind a Pabst Blue Ribbon. What I mind is their marketing ploy with the blue ribbon. Do you know why Pabst Blue Ribbon is blue ribbon?
Why is it?
It was a marketing ploy. They wanted Pabst to be able to be found in a cooler, because they were all glass front coolers at once upon a time. So they would put a physical blue ribbon around a bottle of Pabst. And it was just to make it easier to find. And they started calling it Pabst Blue Ribbon. It never won an award. It never did anything fancy. It's just beer that they marketed with a blue ribbon. It's the most simple marketing campaign in history, and it has obviously worked for over 100 years.
I'm telling you right now, you got to say this. We got to go to Ted Drew's and get frozen custard.
I'm not coming all the way to St.
No,
Louis
no,
for
no,
frozen
no.
custard.
Don't worry. Don't worry. There's more little things.
There better be.
Like the Free Zoo, the Science Center, Grant's Farm.
Is that where you were? Is that where you were hatched? At the Science Center?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Or is that just where they dropped
I mean,
your basket off?
look. The St. Louis Zoo is the best free zoo in the whole country.
Now, you say that, but until you go to the National Zoo in Washington, they've got pandas there.
We've got pandas in St. Louis.
I would be curious. There are just 3 cars in the lead lap, by the way. Not sure if you're keeping track, but I am.
Actually, yeah, there's 3 cars.
Last round of green flag pit stops here. We're just about 35 to go. 37 if you're keeping track. Let's say bottom 9 over there or bottom 8? Gonna have to limp over to the television. It doesn't say bottom anything. It's top 9. That's great. 114 laps in the books here. Dave Riegel and Alan Bergen with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening. Of course, we've got the old band back together. I was on a remote assignment on Monday night as I was returning to a Monday night ARCA series that I hold suddenly near and dear. And let me tell you, man, I missed you. It was weird not being able to, bounce off the guardrails with people that I know. It was definitely the maiden voyage over there. So what? If anybody ever questions whether or not I love me some Alan Bergen, it was like a breath of fresh air when I slid into the booth tonight.
Oh, I know
I had
that.
to be buttoned up and professional. My God.
Wait, you got to be professional?
I mean, well, no. I was just too nervous to be unprofessional. How's that sound? Better?
Okay.
Ben Morrow's going to come in. That's going to leave Joshua Ballier and Joshua Reese out there on the racetrack. Nope, Ballier's going to come in. Reese is going to stay out. One car. The one car is the one car that hasn't come down pit road. Just kidding. Here he comes. What a great transition. What a great entry to pit road Joshua Reese just had. That was almost perfect. I mean, he slung that thing in there like crazy. In fact, let's see if we can go to that since we've got nothing else to look at replays of. I mean, watch. He's going to get off the throttle, get on the binders, right here. 3, 2, 1, in. And he's down to pit road speed. It was perfectly executed.
I can't even pull that off.
No, not on my best day behind the wheel. Nope. That's going to cycle Devin Smith up to the race lead. Now it's going to be Devin Smith, Joshua Ballier, and Matthew Byers. Now Ballier came in on 117. Devin Smith's going to have to come. But when is Smith going to come? Not this time. Nope. This has been an interesting race so far, Alan. I mean, 120 laps in the books, 30 to go now. As Devin Smith has got to come down pit road, Ballier is going to take back over the lead with no qualms. Josh Fox hasn't been down pit road since '67, but he's not really contending right now.
Man. Ooh, Mike or Dave, guess what comes to iRacing next week? Gen 4 Cup cars.
I'm a fan. By the way, did you hear John Redcorn died?
I did not.
Yep. Also, big news in the entertainment world. The Hill family will be back on August 4th, streaming on Hulu. Arlen, Texas gets its favorite propane and propane accessories assistant manager back, and I am so excited.
Oh, Hank Hill.
I mean, it just makes me happy knowing that show is going to be making its return. But the crazy thing is Johnny Hardwick passed away. Of course, that's the voice of Dale Gribble. He passed away, and literally, like 2 days after they made the announcement of when the show is going to be making its return, the voice of John Redcorn dies.
Ugh.
That show's killing people. They already killed Brittany Murphy. Luann.
Yes.
She said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Joshua Reese now working to the high side of the 57 of Ben Morrow. This is for position here. Battling it out for sixth as now he's going to hold the high line. And the 57 really seems more focused on the 21. He seems to be letting the one away, but wow. The one used the 21 as a pick, and now the 57 slides back. The 21 of Aiden Giordano blown away, and all of a sudden Joshua Reese and Ben Morrow up in 5th and 6th.
In other motorsports news, Matt Tifft has bought Mansfield Raceway in Ohio. Which I think that's going to come back as pavement.
I mean, got to be honest, never even heard of it.
Well, so they ran NASCAR Craftsman Truck races there. Back when Dodge was in the sport.
As it should be.
Then they sold it. Then they took all the pavement out. It became a dirt track. And now it's sold to Matt Tiff.
You know, some people buy houses in today's economy. This guy's buying racetracks.
I wish I could buy a racetrack.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I feel like that'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be
until you
okay.
got to start paying people.
That's fine. 22 laps to go here at Phoenix Raceway. You're watching the Outlaw Sim Series truck race. Duel in the desert. All over the rear bumper of the 28 is Joshua Reese. We go on board nearly touching. My God. They are going to exchange some paint coming through 3 and 4. Now the one of Joshua Reese starts to skitter away from the 28. As he now hurls it down into turn number 1. We're 21 laps to go. This race has been green since the drop of the flag. And Barney's kind of bored up there in the stand.
Barney has a well-deserved night off at 21 laps to go. I mean, we've only been racing for a solid hour right now. This has got to be the fastest race in history with these guys. And the lights are coming on here at Phoenix.
Barney's just down here watching the race from probably the best seat in the house. We can see him right here as the camera operator swings into position. But Barney just hanging out. I mean, he's got a green flag in his hand. We can see it there. But I don't know what he thinks he's watching. But Barney at this point chilling. My man. I'm not mad at it. And I think you're right. You know, we have called some really wild races over the years together. And Barney all of a sudden gets to put that flag in a holster and just kind of hang out.
19 laps to go, total domination by Joshua Ballier. As, Matthew Byers, good 20 seconds back. I mean, just, wow, this is amazing to watch.
Well, here we are now, 17 laps to go. And I'm just saying, I don't think this is going to end well for anybody that's not Joshua Ballier. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration from these guys. I think we're going to see a lot, of guys try to go back to the drawing board. It's really all about, your strategy and the way that you're going to run your race. And, I mean, I said it earlier, of course, when Jay Adams said that the racing would be great without Ballier. No, you don't level the playing field by removing the good people. You level the playing field by leveling yourself up. I've always felt that way about sports. The fact that the bad teams always get the high draft picks. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. That raises your level. Except for teams like the Cowboys who should just fold up and leave town. Or at least they should put their owner in a box and bury him. All of a sudden, Matthew Byers is ready to duke it out again. Nope. Joshua Reese just passed him. Let's see if we can find that. Nope. So little has gone on. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. With 14 laps to go, when you can pull that kind of a race off at a place that's got the type of surface that we're on, the width of the front stretch with this dog leg, and usually, the tempers the way they are, they're not bad off here.
No.
Injury update from north of the border. JT Realmuto got struck by a baseball in the groin, and I was told not the pee-pee. It's a technical term. I have a child.
As Tony Trapasso would always say, he stepped on his own junk.
Yeah, well. I mean, if you look at JT Realmuto, I would believe he's somebody capable of stepping on his own junk. Hey, look at that. Bryce Harper recording an out. Suddenly that $113 million that we owe him left on his contract is paying off. 10 laps to go here at Phoenix.
I finally made you chuckle. One driver not stepping on anything right now is Joshua Ballier. He's 21 laps or 21 seconds ahead of Joshua Reese with 9 laps to go.
I mean, Who's going to go after Joshua Reese? Joshua Ballier. Pick someone, please. Reese is 21 seconds behind Ballier. And now let's look at this. Let's look at this lap comparison, folks. I mean, we've got the time to do it. Let's look at the lap times that Ballier and Reese are running. Reese is slowing down consistently by more than 100th of a second every lap. So Reese doesn't have a shot at that. Now if we go to the difference between Reese and Morrow's actually picking up. You see it right here in the bottom of your screen. I mean, you know, slowly but surely, but I mean, what are you going to do at this stage in the race? Please, I want to know.
Right now, these guys are hoping for caution.
Hoping. The only way that you're going to close that gap with Joshua Ballier is if he breaks something in the engine or if there's a caution because somebody else broke something.
Coming down to get 6 laps to go. And here's a gaggle of cars. Someone's got a case of the blinkety blinks.
Five laps to go. Joshua Ballier controlling the field and dominating this race as if he's the one wearing the leather mask and everybody else is tied down to the asphalt. Joshua Reese following by 21.75 seconds, 22 seconds back to Morrow. And they were just about ready to duke it out. The closest battle for position on the racetrack right now is way back here in 13th and 14th, each driver 2 laps down. And Dan Park going after Jonathan Byer now. But that's literally what we got going on. I mean, Joshua Ballier, Joshua Reese, Ben Morrow, Matthew Byers, and Ben Park, 5 drivers on the lead lap with 4 laps to go. This is something that we just don't see at a place like Phoenix. You know, this is something that we see, you know, at a road course. Maybe at, you know, Las Vegas you might see a lot of drivers getting put laps down because it's a rhythm track, but obviously Joshua Ballier has his guns out for this racetrack. I mean, he can feel this thing out like it's in Braille.
Ballier, 22 seconds ahead of Joshua Reese. We have 3 laps to go. This time by 2 laps.
The popsicle sticks are in the air, and we're 2 laps to go. Joshua Ballier once again with Joshua Reese, Ben Morrow, and Matthew Byers. And, you know, here we are with Ben Park, just 2 3/4 seconds behind. I say just because that's it. Dan Park and Jonathan Byer back here, they're going against one another, but only separated by a half second. And as the popsicle sticks go down, the white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Joshua Ballier rolling through turn number 4, comes through the restart zone, can see the cactus as Barney waves the checkered flag, and Joshua Ballier wins race number 4 of the season here in the Outlaws Sim Series. Joshua Reese follows as he's still getting there. The race is still not over for Joshua Reese and Ben Morrow, as Reese here in the 1 leads Morrow by about 1.3 seconds. He crosses. There's Morrow. Here's Byers, and now here's Park. Those are your top 5 and your lead lap cars coming across the line. Wow, what a performance we just saw for this young man here, driver of the 7.
That is so crazy that they went all that way without a caution. You know, it's almost like they got the cautions out of the way early in the heat races and, well, just got after it in the feature.
Yeah, that's something that we definitely don't see on a regular basis here at Phoenix Raceway. But stranger things have happened, and it's why I say that you don't want to miss anything in sports, whether it's esports like this, live sports. It's why I take my scorebook to the ballpark. You never know if you're going to see something that may never have happened before or could never happen again. I'm always waiting to be in the ballpark for a no-hitter or a perfect game. There's 1 on and 2 out in Toronto, but here we are taking a look. Let's get a hold of Joshua Ballier. Alan, I believe you have him with you now.
Maybe.
Yep, he's there.
Josh, it's Alan and Dave up in the SRM booth. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Hey, look, man. What's going on. What's all right. First of all, congratulations on a dominating win and, having that truck on rails all night long.
Yeah, this is one of my better tracks. So when I come here, I look to do well. Like in Phoenix, Richmond, and New Hampshire, probably my best. So I'm pretty dialed in at this type of racetrack where it's mostly pretty flat. So this is a result. Looking forward when I come to tracks like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had it turned on all night long, slicing and dicing through the field. What did you feel like some of the lap cars held you up, or were you able to get through them pretty easily?
No, everyone was fine. I kind of spent a little bit of time behind Devin, but that was kind of a little my own choice, not in a rush to really pass him. He was battling with I think it was Forrest or something like that, so just letting him battle it out.
Look, man, before we get you out of here, who do you need to thank and who helps you get it done here on this number 7 truck?
Just like to thank my team, JB, Ben Park, and you guys for broadcasting, Adam putting the league on.
All right, well, good luck or have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
That the voice of Joshua Ballier, race winner and driver of the number 7, right here on Sim Racing Media. And up next is going to be Joshua Reese, driver of the One Machine. Hey, Josh, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Buddy, listen, you did a great job tonight getting, around this racetrack, especially with no incidents. I mean, everybody coming across the line clean tonight. Unfortunately, you just had nothing for Ballier.
Yeah, he was in his own zip code. I think about after the first pit stop, so lap 80 or so, I set my sights on P2. I knew that was the only goal I had in mind because I knew I had the pace and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to Mal. He was just already too far out by that point.
I think that's a really good mindset to put yourself in. When you know that you aren't going to go up there and give anybody hell atop the pile, you're better off being conservative and just, hey, run your own race and beat the people that you can beat. And obviously you're able to stay ahead of 19 other drivers.
Best of the rest, right? But yeah, Mal's really good. I mean, he's in his own zip code most of the time. I give him major props. He's really good at this. I wish I could be in his level, but we're not there yet. We got some work to do.
Buddy, I get it. I've raced against people like that in the past back during my driving days, and I mean, you always find those folks. They're always incredible, and you always try to, but unfortunately, sometimes you fall short like you did tonight. But before we cut you loose and before we turn our attention to next week, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight here in the One team?
Everybody at Josh Frost Motorsports, also Wildcard Motorsports, Dan, Anthony, Josh, Aiden. Yeah, I was in the chat with them. It's always good racing with them, and they're really fast guys, smart guys, and it's always good to learn from them every week. Congrats to Ben Morrow on the 3rd place finish. It was really good battling him too there at the end. He made me work for it. I think every part of my body is cramping right now because of how hard I was gripping my wheel at the end. And also congrats to Mal on the win as well. Good job for him. And also you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys do an amazing job.
Well, we do our very best, and we appreciate that. You guys always put on a great show, and tonight you kind of let us, since we didn't have any wrecks to break down or anything crazy in the race. You guys gave each other so much room on the racetrack. I mean, what I saw tonight was just something that I hope other people put in their league notebooks of how to do it right, because you guys did it right. But you gave us plenty of time to go down the rabbit holes tonight, and kind of follow our own path. But we appreciate you. Congratulations on the P2 finish, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week. Hopefully we can be here again.
All right, that's the voice of Joshua Reese. And last but certainly not least, as we're going to go get him here, Ben Morrow representing the 717 in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Alan, I believe you have him with you now.
Ben, finishing third, not a bad representation on the podium. Take us to that race and where you could have needed to possibly have challenged Joshua Baye.
I have no idea. Whenever I race with him, I take second as a win. I think if I could have had it to do over again, I could have taken my tire strategy a little bit differently and held Josh Reese off. But yeah, I think second place, 21 seconds behind Bellier was probably about as good as I was going to do in that one.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, for sure.
He's so good.
I mean, he put on a clinic. He put on a clinic, so.
Yeah. There's only been one time where I've even come close to running with him at Phoenix, and I think it was in Xfinity cars, but it was like, for example, like tonight, if it would have been a 132 lap race, like I saved 6 or 7 laps on both stints and did a 1 stop. He went for a 2 stop, and he passed me coming down the back straightaway on the last lap. And like, that's the closest I've ever gotten to beating him at Phoenix. And yeah, it was on a completely different strategy.
Well, look, man, before we get you out of here, who do you like to take and who helped you get it down here on this number 57 truck out of Chambersburg, PA?
Devin Smith for getting me into iRacing in the first place there a couple years ago. And for sure, Adam and you guys for putting this whole thing together and doing a broadcast.
All right, my man. Well, congratulations on the P3 finish, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Well, Alan, another one in the books here out of Phoenix Raceway, and I'll tell you what, man, this was one of those that it's got to go in the record books just to show what these drivers were able to do. I mean, if anybody's looking for, let's just say their digital team or their iRacing team out of, of course, Joe Gibbs and all those other race shops. I mean, obviously Joshua Ballier just auditioned for it because holy crap, what a deal. But before we head out of here, let's take one final look at our results. Joshua Ballier brings home the checkered flag as he's auditioning for the JGR iRacing team. Joshua Reese comes home second, and Ben Morrow rounds out the podium. Matthew Byers comes home in fourth with Ben Park, making up the rest of your top 5. Aiden Giordano comes home in sixth with Devin Smith, Anthony Hamilton, Forrest Hamilton. Ooh, that's enough to screw you up. And Joshua McClune making up your top 10. Kyle Lingerfeld comes home in 11th with Adam Gardner in 12th. Dan Park in 13th, Jonathan Byer in 14th. 15th goes to Jeremiah Stutzman with Doug Sulmus, Josh Fox, Merlin Duran. Then, of course, we go way back here to Brandon Combs, Matthew Setzer, and Ben Henry. Just 98 laps in for Henry before he had to hang it up. So a rough night for him. He wins the race to the beer stand, and, of course, usually that's my kind of thing. I'm fine with reaching the beer stand, but what do you take away from tonight, Alan?
I mean, just Ballier, just leading all those laps in dominating fashion. What a fun race this was tonight, and I just can't wait for the next one. I mean, Ballier, that was a statement win.
All right, folks. Well, we thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening. We thank you for welcoming us into your homes and onto your homes, into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be, and however you may be listening. And tomorrow, and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.